So pretty. Just thought I'd start off with that one. Good morning, y'all. It's Melissa Clark at the Sage Pumpkin Homestead. I'm gonna make sure my video is going, and then I'm going to talk to you in just a second here. Recording. Okay, it's recording. Okay, so sorry to get my close up here. There we go. Okay, so we're gonna do a garden tour. This is tour number 3, and today's Wednesday. It's the 29th, so we are literally at the end of the month. I counted beforehand, so I'm going to tell you now that I have 28 beans, bush beans, that have popped up from the two sets that I have already planted earlier. So I planted a set of 20, and I planted a set of 20 the first time, 35 the second time, and I have 28 that came up altogether so far. I think that some of them are just coming up a little faster than others. And then the Blue Lake bush beans puts that number to, the Blue Lake, excuse me, Blue Lake pole beans puts that to 31 bean plants that I currently have growing. I'm just going to say that right off so I don't forget as I'm walking around with my camera here. Really quick other thing that I wanted to mention was I found 2 tomato hornworms yesterday morning when I checked my plants. I guess it's begun. I've seen them already popping up on the feed in Facebook, the gardening one for Missouri, that other people have started battling them. Interestingly, they've said it's like a 2-week thing only. I'm not so sure about that. I don't know. I don't remember last year. I just remember we had them and I had to get them off a lot or they would damage things. So we came out with a black light yesterday. Didn't find anything. They're supposed to glow, and they're like, ooh, compared to whatever he was putting it on. The other thing too was we found a baby rabbit hiding between the tomatoes when we were out here checking. So we know that rabbits got in here, and I had just made a video recently, just a bit ago, called, using it up is what I'm going to call it. I would say check that one out, because that one's just kind of my thoughts about using the whole parts of everything, or using this cycle of using things efficiently, if you will. But anyway, we know it's getting in, and we thought, originally I thought only in there, but I forgot the cattle panel was open, I think on the one side, so it's possible that they might have gone into the tunnel, because I thought before, I was saying I don't think it got in the tunnel, but it could totally have gotten in the tunnel. I also think I found a tunnel in from underground that the bunny did, I think. I tried to step on it and collapse it, but I think that might have been what happened. I don't know. So I'm going to try to keep it somewhat short, go around through the plants again. The big thing I'm going to go ahead and mention now as well, the biggest changes, I took the broccoli out, I took the peas out, they were done. And y'all, sometimes I need a big cup of coffee. Coincidentally also, by the way, my first favorite color is green, the most, and then purple, and then my third favorite color is orange. And that could be because of being such a pumpkin fiend, which is a whole nother thing. Actually, I have a video about that too, if you're interested. I'll put some links down in the descriptions about the videos I'm talking about. Or you could just go to the page and see it. I don't have that many videos yet, at least not of what we're doing here with this. Why we named the homestead the Sage Pumpkin, and that kind of like the bit of behind that, and that's just some background basically about me. So I'm gonna go ahead and flip the camera around, and I'm gonna start doing identifying. So here we go. All right, I'm gonna go over here again, because I think this is kind of where I've started before. Sophia's corner. The cabbage is getting bigger. It's looking better too. I'm very happy. Sweet bell pepper, it's a bullnose. I thought they turned orange. It actually turns red and green and then red. Behind in that very, very corner right. I don't know if I can do it. I've got my coffee in my hand. Let's see here. Right here in that corner. I went ahead, and that's the other thing. A couple days ago, I started resowing a bunch of stuff. So I put snake gourd in again. On the back, I need to do some more herbs, but I've got, try to get the sticks in view here. This stick and this stick. I put in more, I believe it was butternut, and between these two sticks and this stick, or more spaghetti squash, things that did not come up that were planted here already before. Cilantro plant, still flowering. I'm hoping to get some seeds from that maybe, although I do have some seeds from Baker's Creek, which is rareseeds.com. More sweet pepper. Getting a little damage there, but they're starting to get bigger. I planted here more green zucchini, along with over here I planted more green zucchini. You notice I put in some wood around it to try to differentiate. I don't think I resowed anything here yet with these sticks. In another couple weeks, if nothing pops up, I probably will, because what I did put there the second time around is this one that is coming up, which is Cocozel. And over here, Cocozel. So our echinacea plant doesn't look like it's doing too much. I'm hoping that it would get bigger. Our bergamot, the flowers look like they've seen better days. It's been flowering probably for a good couple weeks. Not too surprising. And the fun part, I had a basil pop up. Volunteered on its own. So I put the sign there and some pieces of wood so we won't step on it. I'm so super excited about it because it was completely volunteer, all on its own. Here and here and here, I did pumpkins. Fairy Tale, Lady Godiva, Blue Doll. I put in a couple seeds together because I figured there's going to be definitely more chances of it coming up. Lovely sunflower, dwarf sunflower. I cut the one off. It had a lot of damage. It doesn't look like it's doing too much better, but you can see the ants. I'm not happy about that, y'all. I got to do something about it. I think they're eating my seeds and they're eating parts of my plants. Not happy. Still nothing coming up on my chocolate pears. I'm getting a little worried about those. And those bits of weeds that I thought was thyme and oregano, I'm going to have to resow some stuff there. Sage plant. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are my black brandy wines. Yeah, I found some stakes to stake them up, so I've staked them and zipped them up. I do probably need to go back through and clip some and clip them down. Some of my beans, mostly a combination of just green beans. That's my first Hungarian heart paste tomato. These beans do not seem to be doing anything here, 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 or here. I did put something over here, and again, I thought those were thyme and oregano. Now I'm thinking they're just weeds. I don't know. Either that or they're just never popping up higher than this for me to really know. So, strawberry plant. Nothing popped up where that stick is. I think I had another one somewhere, but they're getting too tall now. If nothing's popped up by now, they might just get overshadowed. So these are not actual strawberries, and I know I've mentioned that before, I think in my first one. Those are rocks that I painted to look like strawberries so that the birds or whatever would come and try to eat them and go, oh, these are horrible, and leave my strawberries alone when I actually get strawberries. Just doing a check on my tomatoes. Tomatos, tomato, whatever you want to call them. Now, I do believe this particular tomato is also Hungarian heart. But I also know that they're supposed to get a lot bigger than this. So what I'm thinking now is that these might actually be a cross between the Hungarian Heart and the black brandy wine I grew last year, because the shape doesn't look like the Hungarian Heart shape at all. And you know what? I agree with Jessica from Roots and Refuge. She said that even if you're saving seeds and it's cross-pollinated with something else, so what if it's not what you had planted originally, because it's still food to eat, and that's the important thing, even if it's cross-pollinated. So we'll do the midline. Here we go. I still have my one here. I know I really need to get it in the ground. And that's 2, 3, 4 cayenne. This one's getting tall. Woohoo! Jigsaw peppers. 2, 3, 4. They're getting taller too. Echinacea. I think I was kind of hoping it would start getting bigger by now, but I also know that we're battling grass again. I kept calling them weeds before. It's possible they're both. We do have one of our ones I counted for beans popped up over here. Again, nothing on that stick or this one for the chocolate pear. Getting a little annoyed about it. Also, you know, some of these spots where the beans, there's one, haven't come up yet. Sweet basil, tomatoes. I do need to go through these and check them again for more hornworms this morning, just to be sure. Calendula, more beans. Gonna hurt the bottom. And again, another spot. See, here's a, yeah, this is not good. I think I got another, so I have the borage here, and I think I have another little calendula popping up again. I love it. Purple basil. And my tomatoes. Tarragon. I need to start cutting it. I think I've said it before. I did not know that I was going to love it so much because I'd never had it till I met my husband, and we did a recipe. More of our peppers. And this again, looks like it's getting some damage at the bottom now. Blue Lake pole bean. Now y'all, I did another 35 when I planted all my stuff. On Monday, I planted a whole bunch of stuff. I did 35 of these guys too, in place of where the peas were. So, calendula. I have Blue Lake in here, along this one, and just this other spot really fast. Woo. And between this calendula and this weed, I put a bunch of Blue Lake pole beans, just like these guys, same thing. So I'm hoping to get, you know, a bunch from them. Saw the calendula, more beans. Like I said, they're just green beans. And again, my count was, hello Spooky. Yeah, the count was 28 of the bush ones right now. Another calendula. And then plus the Blue Lake, we're at 31 with the Blue Lake. Another calendula. Okay, as you can see, all of this is, the broccoli is gone. I did do cucumber, tiny one, and that one. And I think maybe even that one. These were supposed to be Boston pickling. But I lost something along the way between like a cruncher slicer or something like that. I can't remember. I wrote it down somewhere. But here, that stick, and that stick, this stick, this one, I did more Boston pickling. And here, I went ahead and I put in a Space Master Bush cucumber, and we will see what happens. This is Kalen's corner, and this is his Green Dragon. I think right between these sticks here, I put in another loofah gourd to see what that one's gonna do. I put in another watermelon here, and here, and here. I think this is a watermelon for sure because it's closer to the cucumbers. And I can't tell if this one is a cantaloupe or a watermelon, although I think this one might be a watermelon as well. That's a cantaloupe. And that's the one of the few that I did not expect to have come up. And then I did another one here and here. So our cabbages, not really sure what to think about the cabbages. It has been hot. This particular week so far, because we had the rain on the weekend, definitely on Sunday it rained a bunch. So they're not bolting, and it has been cooler. But I'm wondering if they're really going to get any bigger than this. I mean, if they do, great. But it's kind of a tiny head of cabbage in there with lots of leaves. They're not very big, tiny. They're supposed to get like, I think 2 to 3 times this size and have a nice good sized head of cabbage in it. Here's a small and another small. These are the ones that took some damage recently, more recently. First it was this one, then it was this one, and then it was that one that got eaten off of. So you can see the order of what sizes we're at. So that's the tunnel. I need to clip my calendulas here soon once they get blooming again. But that's basically where we're at. Oh, and the tomato towers. Let me check the tomato towers. Don't see any growth on our tomato towers again. I hope he didn't put too much mulch from the straw. So, whoa, 16 minutes is not bad. Doing a little better. So that's the garden tour. I'm excited to find out that actually when we started looking into smells for some of the soaps, a masculine smell that they actually stated was bergamot. I'm like, wow, we're growing bergamot. How fantastic is that? And black walnut apparently. I'm not sure how that works. I'll have to figure out how to get the smell in there using what we have, because that was, again, just like that video I was talking about, using what we have. If we have it on property already, my goal is to try to use it and try to keep things as natural as possible. And at least that's the goal. I want to be able to say as much as possible that it came from something that we foraged or grew. And if not, I'd like it to be absolutely as natural as possible. That's kind of one of the tenets of what we were looking to do. Less Western medicine, more, you know, if God put it on the planet, He put it there for us to use. We already have it all. We don't need to try to mimic it and package it and sell it. And that's part of another, you know, just another conversation from the way God intended from the blog I had. Anyway, so some things are growing, a lot of things are coming up. I'm very excited about that. I replanted a lot of things. So Jessica did, and I think I mentioned it in a couple of other videos that are not garden tours, but so I'll mention it here too. She did a video on opening like her fall, like a conversation about fall garden as she's looking through seeds. And that was a really good one. That's just from this past like week or weekend. Really, really good video. Lots of information there. But basically what she talked about was a second wave of your summer crops, or warm weather, hot weather stuff, cucumbers, melons, beans, tomatoes even, peppers, to grow them and harvest from them before your frost date. If there's time to do it, you can plant a whole bunch more of those and have those go and do their thing and harvest from them, which is some of what I did. So my winter squash, a couple of the green zucchini for summer squash, spaghetti squash, what was the other one? Butternut squash, particularly things that had not come up. I mean, the summer squash had, but the things that hadn't come up from before, because I sowed them a couple times, they still didn't come up. So I'm trying again. I pulled them away from the fence line a little bit, hoping that that's going to help. And then, of course, more beans. That's my thing this year, succession planting. That's my kind of focus, along with everything else. So, and then I think I put in a lot of winter squash, summer squash, more beans, and some herbs. I try to do more herbs. Oh, and more melons and more cucumbers. That's all that second wave stuff. I did make a video as well about my seed packets that I have, because I was inspired by Jessica, of what I'm going to do for my fall garden. So I'm going to do I did a fall garden video with the seed packets. I will probably do maybe putting some in the ground or something like that for you to see. And maybe I'll show you my journal about how I want to try to do the rotation thing where I'm rotating, because right now we had nightshade, squashes, cucumbers and melons. I still put them in the same one, but none of my cucumbers or melons did anything last year, so I'm just went ahead and put them in the same place again. And I think this one, this area is supposed to be reserved for beans, but if I just don't end up putting as much beans in as I thought I would, I might do a couple rows. This might be where I start for my fall, is right here. A lot of space is going to be taken up in the quad where the nightshade was by the squash, if it actually happens, and then over here along this side with the squash. But I'll still have a space for a couple rows I could start of something else. So anyway, before I go on too much longer, thank you for joining me this fine morning for my garden tour number 3. So until next time, this has been Melissa with the Sage Pumpkin Homestead. Be blessed.